Good morning, this is Ryan Mallory with SharePlanner.com. Today is October 26, 2010. Real quickly here, just did a few trades in the chat room, 3 of them in total. There was about 26 or 27 people in there watching the trades, so I know a few of them were able to profit off of the last trade, ENTG, which was the most profitable one, but I want to go over the charts just so that you guys know exactly what it is that I'm looking at when I make these trades. With it being earnings season right now, there's a lot of stocks that are, obviously are reporting earnings, and as a result, you have some that are either beating expectations or missing expectations, and the ensuing result is either a large gap up or a gap down. And what I'm really looking for is to see one of these stocks break their highs from the day, and that's what I usually use for my entry into the day trade. Now I don't do any of them. I don't want to buy one that looks like it's spent a good hour trying to recover off of its lows and gone straight up parabolical and then breaks the morning highs, because usually that's an exhausted move at that point, and your reward to risk ratio really isn't in your favor at that point. But NTRS was the first trade we made. It was the worst one we made too. I'll look at it here real quick. I was looking at these early morning highs, this high being right around here per se. Let's see. Yeah, that was it right there. I got in on it at 50.09, so you can see here I got in right here at this candle, and it broke the first minute candle highs, went up for a little bit, but it really wasn't that much of a move, and really didn't do anything for me. I got out at about 50 or 49.71, so this little spike down I got out. I decided that this stock really wasn't ready to make a move upwards, and you can see thereafter, I mean, the stock sold off a good 1% from where I got in, and then has steadily since climbed higher. But that's not really what we're looking for. I don't want to trade that it takes over an hour for it to get to where I would like for it to be. I'm looking for trades that I can make my money in 5, 10, 15 minutes tops. This kind of stuff is not what I'm going to hang around for. The next trade, though, NOV, excuse me, I got into NOV at 51.22 at around 9.47, so that would be the break of this high right here. This large candle is what triggered my buy stop into the position. So I got in here and it did really well. I don't think I managed out of the 3. I probably managed this one the worst. Looking at it, I sold half of my position, or I'm sorry, a quarter of my position at 51.46 initially. Might have been a little early for that, but I used this big candle here to sell into some strength. Got a little bit choppy here, and ultimately I sold a little bit here at 51.68, and then I sold another the remaining portion at 51.41. So made enough to recover from the losses from the previous trade. There was definitely a little bit more opportunity, and I'm not talking about this whole area here that I would have profited off of. That's not really what I was in the trade for, but I could have definitely gone as high as 52ish before taking profits off the table, or at least the last position of the trade off the table. And then the last trade, ENTG. This was by far the most profitable trade, and one that a few of the folks in the chat room were able to profit off of as well. This is probably the textbook pattern that I'm looking for here. You got this very, very tight range here early going. Doesn't look like it's going to do anything outside of where it gapped up at the day. It's basically staying right there at its open price. I saw this 550 mark as that's where you want to get in and go long at. So like 551 would be my buy stop. all of a sudden you start getting this buying interest start pouring into the stock, and before you know it, boom, you're in it. I got in at 551 was my buy stop. My actual fill was at 550, so that was a nice slippage in my favor. But you can see here, I mean, it just goes up, 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 and doesn't really look back. I got out at, and I was taking profits along the way, so your commission, if you're taking quarter of your position off at a time, yeah, you're going to have a little bit higher transaction costs, but that's usually because you're making profits. So 560 was my 555 was where I took my first portion off the table. That was about a 1% gain at that point, so I'm going to take a quarter off. That would be like equivalent basically to a stock going from $50 to $50.50. I would take a quarter of the position off. So that's very it's a smart thing to do. I want to be able to walk away with as much profits as possible, whether it's 1%, 2%, or 3%. I don't know, but I'm going to take it along the way. The next one was at 560, so you can sort of see I was taking them in 1% increments into that surge there, and then I had about another half of a position still to play with. So I took another small position here off at 561. That probably was a little bit premature. I could have probably held on a little bit more, but 2% in gains on one day trade that was taken, literally like 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, I was wanting to book profits as fast as possible because, quite honestly, I don't know when you're going to get one of these kinds of series of candles. So my last stake was taken out at 566, so I was able to take profits all along the way and do so profitably at the same time. But that was a good trade. That definitely made a positive impact on my portfolio for the day, despite getting stopped out of Apple and DirecTV early on. This has put me in the green. So there you have it. If you guys have any questions, always hit me up in the chat room. I definitely encourage you guys. I mean, the chat room's free. There's a lot of good ideas being swapped back and forth. I'm putting my trades out there live so you guys can follow me real time. No cost. Do it.